Hey guys, and welcome back to the Friday Gear Show. Today I'm here with Nate, and for who doesn't know you, can you give us a little intro?
All right, my name's Nathan. I've been working at Scarpa for longer than I can remember. Yeah, I do the climbing shoes with this really famous guy called Heinz Mariaka. I don't know if you know him.
I think I heard the surname.
Probably along the lines. So Heinz designs all of our climbing shoes at Scarpa, and I've worked with him for quite a few years in the R&D.
And that's kind of the reason of this chit chat, because I love to geek out about climbing shoes, and Scarpas are obviously
Very geeky.
Tell me all about it. I still haven't tried it, so sell it to me.
Oh, you're missing out, I'll tell you that. So usually I go through like sort of the same way that we make them. So the last of the Vapor is the same as the Vapor V and the Vapor Lace. So it's quite low volume, quite narrow, and especially narrow at the heel. And it's only slightly downturned and not very asymmetrical.
Okay,
in the
right,
shape.
yes.
And this is one of the reasons I think that the Vapor is pretty popular. It hasn't got this really high toe angle at the front, which a lot of people can see as like a bit too aggressive.
Yes.
But you know, you'll still find this on the end of Cedric Lechaussier's foot on 9B.
Of course.
So it still performs really, really well, but it has like a pretty unique shape. And that's probably what makes the Vapor series really popular.
Yes.
And then there's 6 in the series now, and we're looking at the S. S, code for slipper.
Right.
So you'll see that it's primarily a slipper, but it has this little
Subtle
nano strap.
Yeah, it's a very
system across
subtle
the top.
strap.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mix between a lace and a Velcro.
Okay.
So the next thing probably I'd talk about is like the difference between this and the other Vapor models. So you probably notice first at the top, other than the nano strap system, there's this like hood of like this M50 rubber. Now the toe cap is pretty important. It really changes a lot the way the shoe feels and performs. And traditionally the Vapors have this kind of bumper at the front of this really strong tension rubber.
Yeah.
And that really contains your foot really well. But obviously it takes a lot more pressure to push the knuckles up and through.
Yes.
And it means that if you fit the shape of the Vapor, you know, life's quite sweet. If you don't, it's kind of like a little long process to stretch the shoe out.
Right, okay,
So,
that's good to know.
This M50 rubber, which we have on our Dragos, Furias, Chimeras, it's much more morphic and elastic. And you can see like it starts super low. And you can
Yeah,
see
I
these
think
swoops,
this
and it gives this really low toe profile. And as people enter the shoe, it kind of expands out like a
Right.
balloon, but it allows the knuckles to push up a lot more easier. So I would say it's much more forgiving than the other Vapors.
Yes.
Maybe not as precise on the toe as like the lace, but a little bit more softer and suppler, and certainly instant break-in, really, really good.
Right, and what's the difference between the men's version and the women's version, besides the color?
Besides the colour, which you can see.
I mean, I do like this better.
I admit, I like it better as well.
Okay.
I think it looks really, really nice. So mainly it's the volumes.
Okay.
And you know, with your foot, it's not about just wide and narrow, but it's the total volume of the foot. So you can see the volume is quite low on the front, and the women's it's even lower.
All right.
The heel is a little bit more narrow on the
Okay.
sidewalls as the men's.
Yeah.
And it's also just a little bit shallower.
On the women's version.
On the women's,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's, you know, men's, women's, low volume, whatever you want to call it. It has a different fit on each side, and I think that's pretty important. On our other models, for instance, the Vapor V, we changed the rubber on the bottom.
Okay.
On the Vapor S, we chose to put both with excess grip too, because we thought it would be more supple, sticky, and to make it a bit more adaptable for both indoor and outdoor climbing.
Yeah, exactly. Who would you recommend this shoe for?
It's a great, great super shoe for someone that wants something that really does everything quite well.
So good all-rounder.
Yeah, if you're spending like a lot of time in the gym, but you still go to the cliff, you're doing a little bit of bouldering, you're doing a little bit of sport climbing, you might even trad climb, then this thing does everything quite well. But it's not specialized.
And what about sizing? What would you recommend? I know it's very personal.
It is very personal. I mean, it's pretty easy if you know the Vapor last. So if you're coming from like a Vapor Lace or a Vapor V, I would say possibly the same size, maybe half a size down.
From your street shoe size.
Yeah, but more or less I think normally the average on Scarpa is one size down from your street shoe size. That's the average.
The lacing strap system.
Yeah, lace slash Velcro slash nano strap slash thingy.
Many things.
Yeah. So first thing I usually tell people is like it's stitched into this little laminate around the outside, and it's more like where the strap pulls than actually how the strap was. It's more effective on the function. So first obvious one is you can take it off. So you can just turn it into a slipper. And that just makes it float a little bit nicer. It's easy to get on and off, you know, you're faster. You can also add it on if you wanted to make it like a strong mode.
Yeah, I think I've seen a video about this where you
Exactly.
explain all the 3 different modes.
And there are only 3, like it's limited by your imagination.
Okay.
I'm sure you can come up with 100 like different
Probably.
ways to do it. But
Somebody will tell us in the comments.
Exactly. But the cool thing is the link to all the laminate, and it's more or less like an invisible system in the middle here.
Okay.
So it's actually not a new concept, it's just really refined.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No worries.
If you want to pick them up, there are links down below to the Epic TV shop, and subscribe for more videos like this.